Hey guys, this is Pierce, creator of Orders of Terra, and today I'm going to be doing a how to play Orders of Terra video. Of course, there were rulebooks always available online, and in fact I just posted a new rulebook, version 3.0, that you can find on any of my shop pages on the Game Crafter. There are links down for those in the description. Alright, so to demonstrate how to play today, I'm going to be using one of the two intro decks that just came out, and these are the intro decks, Warrior's Might and Mage's Cunning. And I will be making a separate video on these later, but for today, I'll be using the Warrior's Might deck. Alright, so digging into a Warrior's Might deck, this is a 30 card intro deck of cards that will start you off in Orders of Terra. There are 3 different types of cards currently in Orders of Terra. There are troops that go in your troop zones, there are counters, which you set face down in your counter zones, and functions, which you activate from your hand to your function zone. So, a typical game will start off with both players shuffling their decks, and then placing their deck in the deck zone. To start off a game of Orders of Terra, each player will roll a 6-sided die, and whoever rolls higher gets to choose who goes first. So, I rolled a 2, and my opponent rolled a 3. So, my opponent will get to choose who goes first. Alternatively, you can play a game of rock, paper, scissors to determine who gets to choose who goes first. After the first player has been chosen, each player draws 4 cards, and then the game begins. So, if you're going first, there is one stipulation: you cannot attack on your first turn. Since my opponent won the die roll, he chose to have me go first. Here's my opening hand. It's pretty usual. We have 2 troops, a function, and a counter in it. Each turn is a series of 4 phases. First, you have the draw phase, then the Cardinal Phase, third, the battle phase, fourth, the secondary phase, and then after that, it becomes the end of your turn, which is almost like a phase in itself. To start off my turn, I enter my draw phase. Then I draw a card. This is known as your normal draw, and you do this every single turn during your draw phase. Next, I'll move into my Cardinal Phase. Here, I can place troops, activate functions, or set counters. I have 2 troops in my hand that are +0. Instead of the plus symbol here, there's a 0. That means that you can play it straight from your hand without having to do anything special. Playing a troop from your hand is known as a normal place. Since I have a +0 troop in my hand, I can normal place it without any trouble. But say I have a +1 troop in my hand. You can't normal place a +1 troop just by putting it from your hand onto the field. The way you place a +1 troop is by taking a troop that you already have on the field, sending it to the discard pile, and placing it to your field. If you have a +2 troop, you'd need to send 2 troops as plus materials from your field to the discard pile to plus place it from your hand. Similarly, if you had a +3 troop, you would have to take 3 troops from your field and send all 3 to the discard pile to plus place it from your hand. A plus place is just a special type of normal place, and you can only normal place a troop once per turn. So even though I have 2 +0 troops in my hand, I can't just put them both onto the field. I can only normal place once per turn, so I'll just have to choose one. In this case, I'll choose to normal place Phalanx Soldier. Another thing you can do during your turn is activate functions. You can activate any number of functions per turn. This function, Worthy Soldier, allows me to increase the attack of one warrior that I control by 200. Now what's a warrior, you might ask? Well, this guy certainly looks like a warrior, but there's a way to tell besides looking at the picture. There are a few different parts of a troop: plus, name, health, attack, order, and effect. Not all troops will have an effect, and not all troops will have an order, but those that do are listed here. This is a warrior order troop, which means, since I have it on my field, I can use Worthy Soldier on it, which says select one warrior order troop on the field. It gains 200 attack. So, to activate a function, I put it from my hand into the function zone, and then use its effect. So, I'll use this effect to select my Phalanx Soldier and have it gain 200 attack. This means that my Phalanx Soldier goes from 200 attack to 400 attack. And because it doesn't say until the end of the turn, this effect is permanent. Another thing that I can do in my Cardinal Phase, besides normal place one troop, or activate any number of functions, is I can also set one counter from my hand to a counter zone. Counters are sort of like trap cards if you've ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! Or secrets if you've ever played Hearthstone. Essentially, once per turn, you can put a counter face down in one of your counter zones, Once you set a counter, it can't be activated that turn, but after that turn, it can be activated whenever its activation condition becomes true. In this case, this counter's activation condition is when a troop is placed to your opponent's side of the field. So, I'll set it face down for now, and then, next turn, if my opponent places a troop to their side of the field, I can activate Soulbind. The last thing that you can do in your Cardinal Phase is you can appoint a commander. Commanders are just like troops, and they can be played just like troops. But they can also be appointed to your commander zone. While in your commander zone, they're not treated as troops at all, but they're treated as commanders instead, and use their commander effect instead of their troop effect. For example, this commander's effect is while you control this commander, all warrior order troops you control gain 100 attack. So, if I chose to appoint this commander, my 200 attack Phalanx Soldier would be 500 attack now, because I boosted its attack by 200 using Worthy Soldier, and 100 using Bearer of the Standard. Then I can go into my battle phase. Since I was the first player to take a turn, I can't attack in my battle phase this turn, because my opponent hasn't had a chance to play anything yet. Each troop can attack once per battle phase. So now it's my battle phase, and if I wanted to attack, I can't attack my opponent directly since they control a troop. So, I'll choose this troop to be my attacker. Then I'll choose an attack target, which will be my opponent's Sparker. So if I attacked Sparker, that means that my troop's 500 attack would be subtracted from Sparker's 150 health. And since Sparker's health would then be 0, it's defeated. Any troop whose health goes to 0 is defeated and put into the discard pile. It's worth noting that unlike other games like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, damage does not go both ways during attacks. So if I attack with my Phalanx Soldier, only the Sparker receives damage. My Phalanx Soldier doesn't get hurt from that battle. Likewise, if the Sparker attacked my Phalanx Soldier, only the Phalanx Soldier would receive damage, and the Sparker would receive none. So now I've attacked with Phalanx Soldier, and I don't really have any other troops to attack with. So it's time for me to go into my secondary phase. During my secondary phase, if I haven't already placed a troop this turn, I can place a troop. But I've already placed a Phalanx Soldier this turn, so that means that I can't place another troop. Also during your secondary phase, you can continue to activate any number of functions. So if I had another Worthy Soldier in my hand, I could activate another one at this time. If you have a hand of 6 functions, you can activate all 6 of them. But you can only activate functions, or place troops, or set counters, or appoint commanders in your Cardinal or secondary phase, which are sandwiched on either side of your battle phase. So to review, the turn order is Draw Phase, where you draw a card for your normal draw, a Cardinal Phase, where you can place one troop, set one counter, activate any number of functions, and appoint any number of commanders, as long as your commander zone is not full. Then it goes to your battle phase, where you can attack your opponent. Then it becomes your secondary phase, where you can do anything that you could do in your Cardinal phase, except if you've already placed a troop, you can't place another troop, and if you've already set a counter, you can't set another one. Then after your secondary phase, it becomes the end of your turn, and any effects that activate at the end of your turn will then activate. After that, you pass the turn back to your opponent. Now let's go over a bit more complicated type of placing. So we know that there's normal placing, and you can normal place a +0 troop without any plus materials being sent from your field to the discard pile. And you can plus place a +1, 2, or 3 troop by sending that number of troops from your field to your discard pile. And a plus place is still considered a normal place, and you can only normal place once per turn. But there's a second type of placing called extra placing. Extra placing only occurs when a card effect says so. For example, Braveblader says, during your Cardinal phase, if you control no troops and your opponent controls at least one troop, you can extra place this troop from your hand. Let's say that my opponent controls a Veteran Weaponsmith, and I have Braveblader in my hand, and it's my Cardinal phase. Since I don't control any troops and my opponent controls at least one troop, I can use this effect to extra place it from my hand. Now, an extra place doesn't take up your one normal place limit for the turn, so I could still normal place this Phalanx Soldier from my hand, because I used Braveblader's effect to extra place it. So I hope this was a helpful tutorial on how to play Orders of Terra. Of course, this video doesn't answer the more advanced and complex ruling questions, but I hope it does help to inform you about some of the basic aspects of playing Orders of Terra. Again, for this video, I used the intro decks, Warrior's Might and Mage's Cunning, which are my 2 newest products, to showcase how to play. And if you'd like to purchase either of these decks, which are the perfect product for new players because they're simple, easy to play, and perfectly matched against each other. Anyway, I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have any more questions, you can refer to the rulebook that is downloadable from any of my Orders of Terra shop pages. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.